Good morning, fellow option traders, and welcome to the daily scan for Thursday, January 24th, 2013. Well, I'm back to my old microphone. Reason why I wasn't using that other microphone before was sometimes it just didn't seem to have a recording level, and I can't figure out how to boost it up. Yesterday it worked great. Today it was not working, and I could hardly hear myself. So I don't know what to do about that. But I didn't have time to mess around with it. I wanted to get this out there. So we're back to my old analog microphone. And so much for digital, if you know what I mean. Let's take a look first at what we have on tap for today as far as announcements are concerned. This is always kind of a big one. Has an effect on the market, jobless claims. The rest of these hardly ever any effect. And then tomorrow will be new home sales. So we'll be keeping a look at that, on that for tomorrow. But for today, it's jobless at 8:30. Alrighty, let's take a look at our positions. First, let's take a look at the market before we do that. Kind of flat, except for the NASDAQ, and the reason why the NASDAQ is looking like this is because Apple weighs so heavily on it, and Apple took a digger last night, but our position here was a bearish position, so we're going to be just fine. We're up here at 545, and Apple this morning is giving us a 467 468 bid ask, and it's already traded almost 160,000 shares, and it's only 6:30 in the morning Eastern time. So that's trading that is early trading. Hasn't started on the American exchanges, but these are Apple's listed on probably some European exchanges, and those prices are just kind of feeding over to here. So that because Apple is weighted so heavily on this index, it's affecting it greatly. And boy, am I glad I was not in a iron condor on the Qs this month, because that's a big move for the Qs. And we can look down here, 67.59. You can probably guesstimate that. If we're having a 1.25% drop, that you're going to get it here, 1.25%. So that's almost $1, and that's pretty big on the Qs. All right, VIX still under 13. Gold pulling back a little bit, and so is silver. Oil is just really hanging up there kind of high. Just refuses to come down. It's going to cost me a lot to drive to Florida next week. And soybeans really went up high a couple of days ago or yesterday, and they came back down. So did corn. All right. What else do we have going on here? I wanted to just take a quick look at the Profit 10 portfolio and my paper account. And we're going to be watching these earnings here. And MasterCard, I wanted to show you this. MasterCard has earnings coming up actually next week. And I'm just not seeing, my dog is scratching at the door. I'm just not seeing, should be able to see market maker moves here, and I'm not seeing them. So one of the things that you can do is to go in here and set up a straddle, and those aren't even being listed yet. Those will be out there today. So I'll set up a straddle for a regular February expiration, and that should be pretty close, a straddle at the money, and that should be pretty close to the market maker move, which they're showing it as $24. So if we go back and look at our risk profile, take that off of there, $24 from 517 puts us about 490, a little bit above 490. So it's still within our profitable area if it should move to the downside, and plenty of room if it should move to the upside. And then a lot of times they wiggle around there for a while and then they come back to a mean of some sort. They usually come down to try to hit that a moving average, and probably if it pops next week, it'll probably want to come down and kiss the 15 or bounce off of it. That's what I mean kind of by the mean. And we will be keeping an eye on the rest of these, but that's the next one. We have Amazon on the 29th also. Let's see if we have any market maker move there. And it could be that paper trade just doesn't give you a market maker move. That I don't know. We can take a look at our live account here in a second. And we got CF on February 13th, Chipotle on February 5th. And Priceline's too far out. They're just not on here. They're usually late in the earnings season. So let's go back to our regular account. Let's just take a peek at who do we want? MasterCard? No, still no market maker move here either. I find that very strange. I don't know. You can kind of look at this too, plus or minus. This is kind of what they're figuring these moves will be too. So that was pretty close to what I guessed. Or, using the straddle. Pretty close. So I think, based on that, we should be okay. It doesn't guarantee that it's going to move that much. If they don't surprise in either direction, chances are it may not move hardly at all. You never know. Oh, what else is going on here? This Apple, I don't think we need to worry about that one. Salesforce, we're up a little bit, and Panera, we'll be looking at those when we look at the charts. So let's get rid of this. We'll go over to A+, and we'll start our scan for today. Apple, well, we've been talking about that one. Let's go over here. All right, we're looking at an open way down here, below 480. Squish that down a little bit here. Oops. I don't want to do that. Delete that drawing. What do we got here today? Populate it. Earnings per share for Apple was good, but their revenue was down, and they didn't like the numbers on the amount of hardware things that they were selling. I didn't buy any stuff. I did buy a Kindle Fire, and I love it, but I didn't buy any stuff lately at all. As a matter of fact, it's been quite a while. Well, that's a whole other story. Never mind. Let's get back here. So Apple's going to open down this morning. We might be looking for a long play, but let's see what happens today before we do anything crazy like that. Amazon, get this back here, has earnings coming up. It should be next week. You know what? Yeah, it should be. Oh, it's okay. Amazon, we're in an uptrend. We might be having something setting up here, but we have momentum heading down. Let's see here. Yeah, possibly. We'll take a look at it. Let me put a little oval in here, and we'll see what becomes of it, if anything becomes of it. Just a little something to keep an eye on it. Earnings coming up, not real excited about that. Baidu, I think, benefited from Google, well, I thought it did yesterday, from Google's earnings, from Google's pop, but apparently not enough. So I think that we might have had an alert on this. Yes, we did have an alert on this yesterday. The alert went off. But, you know, keeping an eye on it on the intraday, didn't look real good. So, did not do an entry there. And you can see that the stochastic here hooked back down to %K. Did hook back down, and momentum is still heading down. CF Industries, remember we were going to get in back here when that pretend trade here, simulated trade, so far appears to be working out. Where we would have gotten in probably would have been down here around 215 for our short. Chipotle, we'll just take a look at the chart. And we're still hanging in up there. We got earnings coming up next week. Salesforce. We were looking for a secondary entry here, and it didn't work out, but this is actually even looking a little bit better here. So we'll keep that alert right where it's at. And we'll move on here to Google. Yes, Google had a very nice day. Market maker moved 38, started out at 703, ended up at 741. It doesn't get any sweeter than that. So we can take that off of here. They don't always work out, but when they do, then, you know, whoever came up with this market maker move thing, they can pound their chest, I guess. I think that was the Thinkorswim people. This is a failed. Trade. It would have been a failed trade. Momentum is down. Everything's pointing up, though. They don't always work, but well, it's not really a failed trade because we don't know what our short might have been if we had gotten in here. So always think that, you know, if you're going to do an at the money credit spread, or if you're going to do one with a delta around 25 or 20, which may have put you down around here. So keep that in mind. Netflix. Whoa, this is like, let's take a look at this. You gotta see this. Started at 103 and it's at 140 this morning. It's like almost a 40% pop. OMG. Yes. Staying away from that one. Post earnings plays, sometimes yes, sometimes not. This is a back test that I'm doing here. May talk about that at some future time if it works out. The back testing doesn't work out, you won't ever hear about it. I'm leaving this stuff in there though for now. Alright, we are in an uptrend. Here, you can do this. Hide all drawings. There we go. Now we are in an uptrend. We're looking for a pullback on the stochastic. And when that happens, it's entirely possible that this could show us some momentum leaving this particular stock. But if you look over here, this would be, you know, kind of a good iron condor play based on what I'm seeing over here. But for right now, we don't have anything setting up. And then finally, Panera. Little kind of a scary move yesterday. Man, I'll tell you, it was a penny off from my alert going off. So I didn't get bothered with that one. That is looking a little scary, actually. And if I look at this, we're losing money right now. We're just going to continue to monitor this. Can we see any indication of where we might be headed this morning? Probably down, I would guess. If you're looking at the midpoint between these two as a possible open, we might be opening down, say like around 157 or so. We'll see. We will see. All right. I think that's all I have for today. I'd like to thank you for watching. Have a great day and happy trading.